For this project, I am going to try to make or recreate a crate topper that my wife saw online that would go over this little girl's crate. Hi, Albie. So this is some reclaimed wood from a Morris chair that I was going to build years ago and never did it, and finally decided not to do it since we don't really have room for it anyway. So this is very nice quarter sawn oak that's just been sitting in my pile, so I thought it'd be a good thing to use. So I'm just at this point just sort of approximating what the design is going to be, and now I'm going to cut the pieces, not necessarily to size, but trim them down a bit to make them more usable, and then figure it out a little bit more. So here I have the wood cut and laid out approximately. It's a little hard to see, but I've also put some lines where I'm going to make cuts along the side. So the goal now is to make those cuts and then see what I have left over for wood to fill the spaces. Here's the final setup with all the pieces cut to size. You can see the blue tape is where I'm aiming for, the inside of the blue tape there, so I cut everything a bit longer so once it's glued up I can cut it down to the exact size. So the next step is just to glue everything together and then run it through the planer and fine-tune things. Just a quick picture of gluing up some of the pieces. I'm using dowels. You can kind of see one of the dowel holes there. Just this little extra support. Coming together though. So here's the final glue up. It came together pretty well, I think. Once it dries, I'll take it over to the table saw and get it square, because it's very much not square at the moment. And then I will take it over to the planer to get it nice and flat, and then it'll be ready for the next step. So here's how the cover looks after it's come off the table saw and been through the planer a couple of times. I also did a fair amount of sanding to get everything even and feeling a bit better. The next step is there are a couple of defects there that I need to fill in, and then more sanding, probably up to 400 grit. Once it's all sanded, I'll make sure it's square before I do anything else, and then we'll put some trim on and stain, and then the final touch. So apologies, my GoPro died, so I had to do some of the work without the filming of the most interesting part of this, but I finished the A and the L, starting with a 90 V-carve bit, and then using a 1/8 inch bit to hollow this part out, and then eventually a 1 mil bit to get the edges. And same thing on the I. And on the B, I just have to finish up the last part with the 1 mil bit, so that's what I'm going to do now. So there we go, it's all carved out. Saved the centers so that they don't get painted. So I'm just going to clean it up, put some paint in there, and then I'll be able to take this aura mask off and see how it looks. Here's the test fitting for the edging and the final product. Came out pretty nice, definitely very solid.